Good afternoon. This is Mayor Jerome Prince on our 10th day of the governor's 2-week stay-at-home order. In a few moments, I'll call the Gary Health Commissioner, Dr. Roland Walker, to come up and share statistics specifically relative to the numbers as it relates to COVID-19 virus. First, I'd like to reiterate or review a few things that have occurred over the last month, if you will. Somewhere right around March the 13th, we issued what we considered to be Protocol A, which was a deterring of citizens from all Gary facilities. That included City Hall, Hudson Campbell, and other facilities. The public was restricted from there with further indication that we may need to resort to Protocol B, which was a more restrictive measures taken to keep people, social distanced, but also to make sure that persons had the most accurate and up-to-date information relative to how we stop the spread of the virus. Since then, much has occurred. The governor has recently ordered the closure of all Gary schools all state of Indiana schools rather, until the end of the year. And to that point, I am hereby extending the closures and cancellations of all city-related businesses up until April the 30th. Let me be clear on that. This particular directive is relative to City of Gary facilities, including City Hall, Hudson Campbell, Health Department, and what have you. Those are absolutely closed off to the public until further notice. I'm also anticipating shortly that the governor will extend the stay-at-home order at least until the end of the month. In anticipation of that, we're certainly prepared to make the request of the governor that he do so, but more importantly, we're prepared to continue to encourage our residents to adhere to the governor's order. At which point, we will reevaluate within the next couple of weeks how we should proceed forward. In the meantime, we want to encourage everyone to continue to listen to the executive order of the governor, which states to please stay at home and please keep all public gatherings to no more than 10 people. I understand that we're making difficult and significant sacrifices, but as you will see from the data that we're about to share in a few moments, it's extremely important, and especially for our most vulnerable population and friends. The order, once again, is that we stay at home and limit all travel to only necessary trips. The Indiana Department of Education has established guidelines for what your students should be doing to earn credits for the rest of the year, and the state as well has established guidelines for high school seniors planning to graduate this year. If your students attend a Gary Community School Corporation school, you can call 219-881-5466 with any questions, or you can email them at info@garycsc.k12.in.gov. Before we go into the numbers, I have just a couple of other points. One is relative to one change that has occurred since this has been the status of the day, and that is that our waste hauler will no longer collect trash that's outside of the can that's been provided. In fact, that's always been the case. However, as a result of the COVID virus and the uncertainty of all of the ways that it's spread, they have ordered that all trash that is to be collected be placed inside of a can. So it's important for our residents to know to make sure that all of your trash is inside of a bag, inside of a can. As I stated, that's always been the order, and it certainly would go a long way to help keep our city clean. But as of now, it's important that we know that your trash will not be collected if it's outside of the can. In addition to that, we're utilizing our personnel to clean up certain areas of the city while this is going on so that we can redirect our manpower and utilize it in a more efficient manner. As of now, I want to talk about the state of the city that was scheduled initially for March 27th, and it was postponed until a later date this month. Once we have a firm grip on that, we certainly will announce it publicly. However, it's important to note that that too will not be an actual setting where we deliver the speech, but it will take place virtually, which means online, and we'll try to provide as many access points for our residents as possible so that they too can understand and keep up with the latest events of the city. Without going any further, I'd certainly like to bring up Dr. Walker to talk about some recent events that have taken place, as well as share accurate, up-to-date numbers with you.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, citizens of Gary, for allowing me to speak to you once again. I've certainly gotten used to coming in front of you now. My daughter says that she's tired of seeing me on TV and hearing me on the radio. Luckily, right now, she should be doing her schoolwork, so she doesn't have to be bothered with me. I want to share with you some of the numbers that are accurate as of today. In Indiana, we have tested 17,635 people. That is a lot of people. It's not as many as we want to be. We want to continue to have testing continue to grow. Of those 17,000 people, we have 3,437 people that are positive in the state of Indiana. And unfortunately, we now have eclipsed the 100-person death mark with 102 people who have died from COVID-related illness. Now, in Lake County, our numbers increased significantly overnight. So Lake County positives now currently 244 people. And unfortunately, now we've had 7 deaths in Lake County. And how that relates to Gary is that we have 52 positives currently that we are following in Gary, Indiana. Please understand that if you have a positive result, the Gary Health Department will be contacting you so we can do contact tracing. And that is keeping your privacy very utmost importance, but we are looking to see if there's anybody vulnerable that you've had contact with that we can reach out to see if they need to be tested. Additionally, the numbers in Porter County have gone up significantly too. So we're watching Porter County, our neighboring county. They've gone up to 45. And the reason why that's important is that's our neighbor to the east. And because of their limited amount of hospital beds, they tend to use the resources in Lake County. So we are monitoring both Porter County and Cook County. As you can imagine, those resources will be used in Lake County. Now, as I've stated previously, we're planning to do testing at the health department. And I want to give some of the guidelines that will go into effect when we begin the testing. We're aiming for next week. That is dependent on the supplies becoming available. First of all, we're only testing Gary residents at the Gary Health Department. That goes along with what our charge is to provide public health to the citizens of Gary. Also, you must have a written order to come and get it from your doctor in order to get testing. Okay, the testing will be, we're going to do rolling appointments. So what I'll have you do is once you have a doctor's order, call the Gary Health Department at 219-882-5565. That is the Gary Health Department, a main desk number, and that is going to be 219-882-5565. And once again, we are working with Quest Labs, and they are working to get us those supplies. Also, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of our plans going forward in terms of anticipating the increased amount of COVID patients that will be tested and become positive. We are looking at and talking with our state and federal partners because we might have to set up some type of field hospital or screening facilities. And so we are working with NISA, who is currently out at the airport, based there. We are working with several of our federally qualified health centers. That includes Porter Stark Services, that includes Community Health Net, that includes Edgewater Health Systems. Also, I've reached out to some federally qualified health centers that are outside of Gary that are interested in working with us. That includes the 219 network. That also includes regional health systems who are interested in working with us. We have actually had to reach out to us, the Chicago area medical and health careers program, who wants to send volunteers to us, and Indiana University Medical School, the Northwest Indiana campus, has actually reached out to us and are sending us volunteers as well. But I want to reach out to the public and ask that any healthcare workers that want to volunteer to work with us, please reach out to us, and I'm going to give that number again. And so this number will be for healthcare workers who want to volunteer for any type of screening or field hospital that we may establish, and also anybody that wants to help us do testing. And this number also will be the number that we will use for people who just have general questions about COVID and want to call to see if their symptoms warrant testing. And that number is going to be 219-702-7151. I'm going to give that number again. That's 219-702-7151. Once again, I just want to say I'm thankful to all the citizens of Gary that have been working hard to work on the social distancing, because that's going to help us really flatten the curve, and I think we're doing a good job. I also want to thank the mayor and his entire team who has worked tirelessly to help me to accomplish my goals. I got to tell you that in public health, we just don't see these type of resources committed like the city of Gary is committing. So if nothing else, I'm proud of the work that we're doing. I'm appreciative of the work we're doing, and I hope that I'm living up to your expectations. I'm trying my best, and I want you to know that my family lives here, so I want Gary to have the best. And Mayor, I appreciate it, and I'm going to turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. So in closing, I just want to leave a few points for our residents. I want to reiterate the part about the education. So the Indiana Department of Education has established guidelines for what students should be doing to earn credits for the rest of the year. The state has also established guidelines for high school seniors planning to graduate this year. If your students attend a Gary Community School Corporation school, you can call 219-881-5466 with any questions, or you can email them at info@garyssc.k12.in.us. In closing, we just want to continue to share as much information as we possibly can throughout the day with you. And like all of the updates, it's challenging because the information changes rapidly. As I was speaking, more numbers came in, and Dr. Walker is going to share with us the most updated numbers in 2 seconds. I just want to remind everyone to please stay at home. Continue to practice social distancing. It's okay to get out and exercise, but please do not congregate in groups of more than 10, and make sure that you check on your loved ones. That includes the elderly or the sick and shut in. I want to thank you again for your cooperation through this and look forward to future updates. Thank you.
So thank you, Mayor. Once again, statistics change rapidly, and so our team updates numbers every day at noon, and they provided us with the new numbers for both Indiana and for Gary. And so the new number for Indiana residents tested now is 19,385. 19,385. Of that, 3,805 residents are positive. Okay, and now, unfortunately, we have 126 deaths in Indiana. Of those numbers for Indiana, the Lake County numbers now have gone up to 273 positives in Lake County, and also we are now looking at 8 deaths in Lake County. Of those positives in Lake County, 70 are positive in Gary. So we now have a number of Gary residents who have tested positive as 70. So those are the most updated numbers that we can provide to you. And we really appreciate you tuning in and getting the updated numbers. We'll continue to do that. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.